Hello everyone.
When I used my tractor's front loader to lift a 500-pound finish mower off a utility trailer, I got an eye-opening experience. The right front tire, which happened to be on the downhill side of the tractor, crushed down to almost flat as I was lifting. I got a good look at how dry rotted these old tires are, and even though they have plenty of tread life left in them, I saw how unsafe they probably are in their tired old condition. There's deep dry rot cracks running all the way around the circumference of the sidewalls. And when this tire is under pressure, it has a golf ball sized bulge where these cracks are. My back left tire lifted off the ground a good 4 inches when that front tire squished down flat. I don't need a tire blowing out when I've got work to do, and I certainly don't need a tire blowing out on a hillside. So I found a competitive price and free shipping on a new pair of tires for the old Ford 1710 tractor. I just use a core remover valve cap on an old valve stem as an easy way to remove and install tire valve cores. These are actually Carlisle brand skid steer tires. They have very stiff 6-ply sidewalls, which makes them a lot tougher to work with than regular car tires. At 68 pounds, these tires are very stiff and heavy. I've changed a lot of tires with this Harbor Freight tire changing tool, but these were hands down the toughest I've ever done. I need to push the bead closest to me down into the drop center of the rim. The drop center is highlighted in this cross-sectional diagram in red. The tire's bead normally rides here, where the red dot is. But in order to remove or install a tire on the rim, the bead needs to be pushed into the drop center, as shown here. That gives the bead on the opposite side the space it needs to slip on or off over the edge of the rim. The sidewalls on these tires are too stiff to push them by hand, so I had to use a pry bar to push them into the drop center. This would have gone more smoothly had I sprayed the bead with soapy water to make it slippery. I use my tire changer bolted at the base to a sheet of plywood. That makes it more portable. But bolting it to the floor would make it more stable and easier to use. I might actually do that in the future. Soapy water will help it slip off easier. It helps that it was a little bit wet this time. So these tires are marked for direction of rotation, so I marked the rim. It'll just make it easier to get it oriented correctly. Just lube this bead up. Confirm rotation, the direction of travel is this way, just like the rim. don't know if I can push this on any farther. It's a 6-ply tire. It's a lot stiffer than a regular tire. It's like a truck tire. Now I have to tell you, mounting this first new tire on the rims was much harder than I thought it would be. I needed help, and my son and I struggled with it for what must have been 2 hours before we got it done. As should be expected, forcing this super stiff sidewall low enough to get it into the drop center turned out to be a difficult task.
Nice catch.
Sort of, at least it didn't bonk you on the head. Because it could have hurt. I'm not going to waste a lot of time showing our epic struggle, just a couple highlights. After the first tire, I thought of a method that might make this more doable. It turned out it worked well enough that I was able to do it alone. That's coming up next. Pull that out.
Nice.
Roll in. Wow. The bead's not sitting where it can start to seal. All I had to do was rock the tire around a little so the bead would contact the rim all the way around. Believe it or not, that got it. Here it comes. You can see it moving right there. Look at that. It just kind of squeezed into position rather than the big thump we're waiting to hear. I'd had enough for one day. It's time to put everything away. Don't forget the wheel chock. Too late. I was exhausted, didn't have my wits about me. Tomorrow's another day. I moved the bead breaker to the middle hole on the lever. This made it function a lot more smoothly. It aligned more easily and backed out without getting stuck like it had on the first tire. Check out my surprise visitor. A healthy husky vole accidentally ran into the garage while I was standing right there. It hid behind some garden tools in the opposite front corner, then made its way to the back and disappeared. I opened the other garage door about 10 minutes later and watched it run out. I marked the direction of rotation. So I know the first thing I have to do is get one side of the bead down into the drop center of the rim. I only have two hands, so two pry bars are an obvious place to start. Now I need to find a way to hold the bead down there while I work my way around the tire. So I'm wrapping a small ratchet strap from the top of the column to the bottom of the column. Hopefully I can cinch it down tight enough to hold the bead into the drop center. This seems promising. This is working, but I need another strap. I took it for a quick ride down the road to make sure the beads are seated. One side has lost 2 pounds over the past week. If it doesn't get better, I might end up using some sealant on it. Thank you for watching. Please take a moment to like and subscribe.